السلام عليكم طلاب المرحلة الأولى الدراسة الصباحية قسم الترجمة. This lecture will be about phonetics and phonology, and specifically to talk about or to explain consonants sounds. Unit 2, consonant sounds. We need to divide English sounds to two groups: consonant sounds and vowel sounds. Now we are going to study consonant sounds. Consonants are closed sounds. How it's called closed sounds? In the first lecture, we was talking about the articulations, organs of speech, its function. So consonants are closed sounds. يعني ما نريد نوضحها إنه consonants are closed sounds that most of the articulators inside our mouth are close together or touching each other in order to produce the sounds or consonant sounds. Then why it is called closed sounds? Because most of the articulators inside our mouth are near from each other when the air push it out from the lungs to outside. إذن الهواء اللي يخرج هو عن مصدر الأصوات. With the help of the articulators inside our mouth، يعني مساعدة هذه الأجزاء النطق اللي هي تقترب مع بعضها أو تلامس بعضها حتى تصدر هذه الأصوات. So this means there's some type of obstruction. إذا أكو عوائق من للهواء اللي يخرج من الرئة إلى خارج الفم حتى تصدر هذه الأصوات اللي تكون اللغة. This obstructions to the airflow from the lungs by parts of the mouth coming into contact with each other or very nearly contacting. إذن تلامس أو ما تلامس الأجزاء مع بعضها, and so losing of the free flow of air. إذن عن طريق هذه الأجزاء، أجزاء النطق، يتكون عندنا أصوات الصحيحة اللي هي consonant sounds. In English there are 24 consonants, and these are arranged into 5 main groups. إذن لازم إن احنا نصنف هذه الأصوات 24 إلى مجاميع، كل مجموعة لها اسم معين، وهذه ما راح نبينها في نهاية المحاضرة، لأن لازم نوصف هذا الصوت المعين أنه يكون according to the manner of articulation and place of articulation. the place of articulation هو مكان النطق حسب أجزاء النطق اللي وضحناها. إذن the first group called plosives. حتى نعرف plosives, these sounds that related or belonging to the consonants, sounds that cannot be sustained and which have a popping quickly. For example, p as in p and b as in ball. So these two sounds called plosives, and you have to remember that both of these sounds called plosives. The second group, nasals, sounds in which the escaping air passed through the nasal cavity, مجرى الهواء الأنفي. For example, as in mat and in as in nat. These two sounds called nasal sounds. The third group called fricatives. Fricatives as air exits through the mouth, it forces its way through the note gap to create turbulence or friction. For example, say as in so, and fe as in fit. These two sounds called fricatives because there is touching or nearly touching between what when I say like the teeth the tip of the tongue with the teeth. So this is the narrowing of the air. We can produce these two sounds that's called fricatives. The fourth group called affricates. These are combination sounds that began with a complete obstruction formed by the tongue tip contacting the alveolar ridge before the air is released slowly with friction. For example, ch as in chop and j as in jam. These two sounds called affricates. The last group called approximant. Approximant, a group of four sustainable sounds. The first one, we as in we, re, as in red, le as in let, and ye as in you. These four sounds called approximants. As well as the above five main groups, consonants can be further described in terms of their voicing, place of articulation, and manner of articulation. What does mean voicing? We have to define and classify the sounds, the consonant sounds according to the voicing. To define voicing refers to whether or not the vocal folds are vibrating during the production of the consonants. If they are not vibrating, the sound is voiceless, and if they are vibrating, then the sound is voiced. إذن الفويسنج حسب اهتزاز الحبال الصوتية اللي موجودة بالحنجرة. You can test any sound of consonants. When you produce the sounds, put your finger on the vocal cords, and you can feel that there's vibrate or not vibrate. So according to the vibration, that these sounds are voiced or voiceless. Place of articulation. When I want to describe any sound, I have to follow these according to the place of articulation with the touching of the articulators with each other. إذن حتى نصنف هذه الأصوات ونوصفها لازم نصنف هاي الأصوات حسب ما موجود عندنا الآن. The place of articulation bilabial, two lips come together. لازم نعرف إحنا شنو هذه الأصوات اللي two lips come together. P and P. This is bilabial. Labiodental, lip and teeth come together. Lip. When I produce any sound, I can feel that the lip and teeth are come together. This is called labiodental. Dental. Tongue contacts the teeth. Lip. Tongue contact the teeth. Alveolar ridge, when tongue tip moves toward the gum ridge, just behind the upper incisors. The next group, post-alveolar. Tongue tip is close to the position just behind the alveolar ridge, toward the back of the mouth. Palatal. Tongue moves toward the roof of the mouth, palate. Velar, the back of the tongue moves toward the soft palate, vena. And the last one, glotta. The only glot consonant in English is he, as in how. Strictly speaking, this doesn't involve two articulators coming together. The sound is simply the friction caused by the air being expelled through the gap between the vocal cords. So it's called glottis. Manner of articulation. When I want to describe any sound, as I said to you, I have to describe it as according to the place of articulation, manner of articulation, and voicing, to be voiced or voiceless. We classify the sounds according to the place of articulation to be bilabial, labiodental, dental, glottal, like this. But manner of articulation, this indicates the type of contact that is made between the two articulators and is defined simply by the five main groups described above, اللي هي plosive, nasal, fricative, affricate or approximant. واحنا صنفنا هذه الأصوات حسب manner of articulation to be plosive اللي هي p and p, والنasal وصنفنا الفريكاتيف والافريكيت or approximant. هذا المخطط يوضح شلون أوصف كل الأصوات الصحيحة اللي موجودة باللغة الإنجليزية. إذن عندنا place of articulation، وعندنا manner of articulation، وعندنا voicing. هنا عندنا place of articulation وصنفناها على أنه شنو تكون bilabial, labiodental, dental, alveolar, post-alveolar, palatal, velar, glottal. هذه حسب place of articulation. manner of articulation يكون plosive, nasal, nasal, fricative, approximant and lateral approximant. واحنا وضحناها. نجي على الصوتين الأولى اللي هي ب نقول عليها bilabial ونقول عليها plosive. نجي على الأصوات اللي هي ت د اللي هي alveolar وهي أيضا plosive. ونجي على الك ج عندنا فيلا وأيضا plosive. نجي على الجروب الثاني اللي هي م هي nasal و bilabial، والإن هي nasal و labiodental، والإن alveolar و nasal، والصوت الأخير اللي هو إن اللي هي nasal و velar. نجي على الجروب اللي بعده، نجي فيف اللي هي fricative وتعتبر labiodental، وفيذ هي dental و fricative، سيز fricative alveolar، post alveolar اللي هي شيجة اللي هي fricative، وهي glottal وتعتبر fricative. approximant وعندنا غ وعندنا ي اللي تعتبر الياء تعتبر lateral، وعندنا الغ alveolar وعندنا bilabial، the last group is same. نجي نعطي examples for each consonant sound. p pit، b bit، و t tap، d dap، k cap، g gap, and how to pronounce the sounds according to your pronunciation. So the next one, fe fan, ve van, se sad, ze zu، me mad، ne not، وعندنا he hot، le lad، re red، we wood، وعندنا ثي thought، وعندنا ثي them، وشي shy، j treasure، che chime و j jam و ي yam و the last one ng اللي هي sing. These all the sounds that we can say that it is called consonant sounds in English language.